Hello everyone and welcome to the Captain's Video Weblog. We're Sunday, November the 22nd, 2015 and I'm in the middle of my workout. Having asthma makes it kind of difficult to recuperate quickly. Yeah. It's halftime during the Marseille versus Saint-Etienne match. We're leading 1-0 thanks to a goal that was full of mishaps, really. JJ's cross was fucking wonderful, but Ocampos misses his heel shot. Not the first shot he misses in the match. It's a bit concerning, and Kudu misses his own shot, makes it an assist for Batshuayi's goal. So yeah, that was pretty okay. Anything is good at this point to distract me from the End of Evangelion. That was pretty horrible, gotta say. I mean, I watched Death, because you know Evangelion ends with death and rebirth, and then there's the End of Evangelion. Rebirth, so there's death, and rebirth is death is a 1 hour and 13 minutes recap of the series, which doesn't really leave you any room to breathe after every shocking moment, like, you know, the fight against Bordiel and all that stuff. One thing I learned about Evangelion is that apparently sorry, the end of the series really happened in summer of 2016. How do I know that? Well, it starts with the Katsuragi expedition in Antarctica in August of 2000. We are August the 15th, and without really without any ado, they really go to the second impact. Like, they're still complaining about, you know, not being able to smoke in the facility, and suddenly you hear a voice saying, put your security suit, your safety suit and all that. You're like, oh wow, security measures, huh? And you don't really understand why until they cut away from the surveillance feed and up to, well, Adam waking up, really. So there's that, and then, you know, there's so that follows Misato, and they cut to what's 2016 really, because there's something with, I would think, something with that's got to you know be 2016, because it says it's when she's sleeping with Kaji, with Ryoji Kaji, after Shinji finally I don't know, after he finally came back to his original shape, let's say. So after the battle with Zerial, 1 month after the battle with Zerial, and then he says 9 months earlier Ryoji was looking at the stars, and one could say that, well, maybe it cuts to the scene in the director's cut of episode 21, I would think. You know, the scene with Asuka and Kaji on the boat. One would think that maybe it happens when they just left um, Wilhelmshaven in Germany, but they say that they arrive in Japan the next day. So at any rate, it's either when they arrive in Sasebo or the day before the attack of Gagiel, and it's definitely the day before the attack of Gagiel because they talk about Misato taking care of her. Except we know that Misato didn't leave for Sasebo; she left and took Shinji with her to the Over the Rainbow ship when it was just miles away from the coast. So the 9 months before takes us to September 19th at best. So yeah, that means that Shinji wakes up from the I don't know if we really can say he wakes up, but he definitely comes back from being one with the LCL in June of 2016, June or July, and we know that there's not a lot of time between that and the day where the end of Evangelion begins, because something they say at the very beginning of Rebirth, episode 25 Prime, I think it is, Air, also called Love is Destructive, is that they've been locked into the HQ of Nerf during 2 days after the battle with Tabris. So yeah, and there's all this part of I'm so fucked up. I think that I would have enjoyed more the movie if I hadn't watched it only using the speakers of my computer, because obviously my computer isn't made for DTS 5.1 Dolby sound. At best it's 2.0 and I couldn't put on my headphones because only one side works, so it was going to be even more jarring. Talking about the End of Evangelion comprised of 2 parts: episode 25 Prime, Air, and episode 26 Prime, Magokoro wo Kimi, which means my sincere heart for you, pretty much. The English titles are Love is Destructive and I Need You. You probably have seen the screen cap, the End of Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion episode final, I Need You. That's the one. Both parts are pretty fucked up in their own way. The first part is pretty fucked up because you see, it's that Nerf is a paramilitary force. They've got lots of money, they don't answer to anybody. So yeah, they're pretty much a military, except they're not a military. They like the formation. It looks pretty fucking obvious during Air. Because it's the assault of the Japanese Self-Defense Force. There's another S somewhere in there, I'm not sure, or an A. At any rate, it's pretty fucked up because what happens here is something that you wouldn't think happens in Evangelion. Evangelion is sci-fi. It's the humans versus the angels, and the angels' only goal is to reach Adam. Turns out it's not really Adam, it's Lilith. Yeah, so, but if they have to kill people or to react, it's legitimate defense. They weren't the one attacking. From their point of view, they have a goal and they will do anything to reach that goal, and that's pretty much it. If they have to kill people while doing that, well, shit. Whereas the assault of the invasion orchestrated by Zeller and the GSSDF is really, you kill everyone. You see people surrendering and they get shot, and that's really fucked up. I mean, I really felt terrible while watching that. Like, oh god, oh that's pretty fucking real right now. I mean, that's not real because the weapons they use like a N2 mine. Wow, you're like, oh Jesus Christ, wow, that's fucked up. And then there's Magokoro wo Kimi. That takes it up to 11, except now it really gets back to something that's more Evangelion-like. You know, we're back to the angels, and that's the point where you could question the consistency of what they did, because at the end of the anime, in episode 25 or 26, they talk about instrumentality happening in 2016, and even in Death, they do various links to what should be 2016, like the part where Kaji arrives is 9 months before. The part where Kaji talks to Asuka on the ship is 9 months before the day, where Shinji finally steps out of the Evangelion after achieving 400% synchronization, which means that this day happens in June. There's also the day where Shinji visits Yui's tomb with his father. That happens in 2016 because they say when they do a flashback to Yui talking to Fuyutsuki, it says 12 years earlier, not 11. So yeah, Evangelion definitely begins in 2015, but it ends in 2016, and probably during the summer. I mean, the opening scene of the End of Evangelion is really reminiscing of the first couple of scenes. You know, there's this presence of the summer that's really heavy, and that's, I mean, I know that there's no more seasons, but you can really see that it's really meant to be hot. You know, you can really feel that. Well, they're in during summer. I don't know how I could explain it, but if you watch the first couple of episodes that supposedly happen in June, July, August, September, so that means up until the arrival of Asuka, it's all very, you have the presence of summer. Well, I nearly missed a second goal, but it's Ocampos, so who cares? He's not gonna score. Ocampos is a really good player. He has played like shit since he came to Marseille. That's kind of sad. So yeah, the only point in all of the series where they say, well, it probably ends in around the New Year of 2016, is because, well, at a very pivotal moment of the anime, I thought that maybe they misread the whole thing, but no, it's really fucking clear. It's in full screen. You can really see that it's AD 2015 on Maya's screen at a very important moment in End of Evangelion. You will not be able to miss that, and if you are, it means you probably aren't watching very closely, and you don't even need to watch very closely. I mean, if you watch it with subtitles, you don't need to look up like a fraction of a second, and it's there. You see, there's AD 2000 and AD 2015. That's kind of a spoiler for you. but yeah, at the end of the day, it was all very, very, very fucked up. Like, I usually add what I watch on my anime list. I don't go to the forums because I think they are very cancerous. They are shit opinions all the way. I mean, like A or R anime, but even worse. Because they think that light novel adaptations are the way to go. What? Why are you doing that? So yeah, I mean, I kind of have to see again I thought I think I've already seen a timeline, fake timeline on I think it is on Crunchyroll's website. Though they don't really take in consideration the fact that Asuka arrives on 9/21, and that's pretty much the only thing why I said, well, yes, that's shit. You are. I mean, maybe if I look at this timeline, and maybe in the manga, I know that there are tiers of canonicity in Evangelion, but maybe the manga can help us. Maybe the Blu-ray's releases will help us. But yeah, yeah, Death was pretty cool, I must say, because I mean, if you want to know what Evangelion is all about, they remove a lot of the psychological build-up. But I mean, if you've watched Evangelion, you don't need it because I think that's at the end of Death. Yeah, at the end of Death. On the DVD version, there's a screen counting down an intermission, a 5-minute intermission. Probably smoke some weed or get yourself a bit more ready to face the end of Evangelion. And in the middle of the end of Evangelion, which I thought was kind of out of place, but I mean that only adds to the impact of the end of the movie. They put the credits in the middle, in the shape of a double helix, DNA, all that, and a lot of stuff that you hear during the end of Evangelion part of the end of Evangelion. So, oh well, there's the second goal. Why isn't it in full screen? Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, I really liked the end of Evangelion. Though I gotta say that I really hated it. It's a great movie, one of the best anime movies ever done. I still am like feeling pretty shit. I went to see Spectre, which was a fairly good movie, I gotta say. I don't really like Daniel Craig's James Bond because he's always so brooding, Oh, what's my past? And in this movie, there's still that, but he also shoots down motherfuckers with a machine gun with one hand. I don't know if we can really say that's machine gun. Yeah, automatic gun, one hand, pop, 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 watching motherfuckers drop. You will, if you like fun things, you will like James Bond. I didn't realize that it was Leia Seydoux on the poster of Spectre because, I mean, she looks different than. I mean, Leia Seydoux is really, really, really white. She's one of the whitest women I've ever seen. Jesus Christ, like, go to the sun a bit, lady. I don't like her. There's some kind of curse on French actresses in my family because I don't really like Leia Seydoux. One of my sisters doesn't like Marion Cotillard. So yeah, there's French actresses like why? It's not that she's a bad actress, but she's just fucking everywhere. God damn it. Well, with all that, I haven't seen the second goal. Oh, maybe there's a replay. Oh, no, that's an offside. Well, so yeah, and despite really having fun watching Spectre, I still like, well, I don't feel good. I mean, the End of Evangelion is really Hideaki Anno being depressed, not wanting to end his life, fucking fuck, and he brings you down with him. You know, like, if I cannot feel good, nobody will feel okay. One thing that I didn't really understand was at a moment they do some live action footage, and I didn't really understand what they were going with, why they were going for that. And suddenly, when at one point you see one shot and you realize, oh, that's what you meant. And that's also fucked up. Because, no, you don't. You don't get to do that. Fuck off. Yeah, so I wanted to put my experience on My Anime List, and in the middle of Air, which is not really the end of Evangelion, it's more rebirth. Was like, well, as a comment I will say, well, that was fucked up. And at the end of the movie I was like, what? Why? Doshtet. I was holding my head, and that's probably, you know, I probably watching it to see if there was enough shock value for me to really have, you know, some kind of gag reflex or something. I didn't have any gag reflex, and there are very graphic moments in the movie. So yeah, if you're easily moved, you are better off not watching it. Maybe the third goal. That would be cool. Nope. Huh. Playing it always on your own, huh? So, yeah, I really feel like shit, and it's almost been 24 hours since I watched the movie. So, yeah, there's that, really. So anyway, thanks for watching, and for listening to me rant about how there's a lack of consistency and continuity in Evangelion. I mean, it's not the first time where they say they establish something and suddenly in the middle of you know, going back to the thing with Zero. It's one of the most iconic moments in Evangelion. Maybe with the attack on Bardial, where they image it. I mean, I don't think. I mean, they really left us no fucking room to breathe after Shinji discovers who is the fourth chosen pilot. They really cut directly to the battle with Zerel, with some you know, some insight on Rei's state of mind, which is also important in the end of Evangelion, which is kind of weird, I gotta say, though not really. I mean, you gotta ponder it, really. And, you know, after watching it, I can really understand why at one point there were so many "what the fuck did I just watch" threads on A, because, wow, what the fuck did I just watch? So yeah, going back to the little errors in consistency, Shinji has decided that, well, he won't go back in the goddamn robot. Before, well, he kinda I mean, he kind of has to do it. So he's in his casual clothes. I would say school clothes. So yeah, there's that. And when you see the next episode, the LCL, the entry plug in the Unit 01, you see his plug suit that he wasn't wearing. I mean, like to some money. So, and one other thing that I feared in the End of Evangelion was like, how is my point of view on Com Susotod going to change on about after watching the End of Evangelion, because it plays in the biggest scene really. You know, this air really looks like some kind of, you know, edgy 80s anime. That's really what it is. It really looks like that. That's about military, you know. So there's still that kind of feeling Ghost in the Shell in some scenes, but you know, there's really that really 80s, 70s feel, gritty military actions, while the End of Evangelion, Magokoro wo Kimi is really 90s and 2000s, the 00s, sci-fi, psychological bullshit, kinda, sorta Christian-like. So yeah, because I've seen I've seen many gifs of the instrumentality, and at one point the original Asyncs Com Susotod was a compilation of pictures from this very important scene, but with bullshit dialogue. I've seen the beginning of this sequence with no subtitles at all. So obviously I kind of know what was going on. I didn't really know what was going on though. I understand when Shinji says "Watashi o tasukete," I think he says that, or I mean, either he wants to be saved, or he wants someone to save him. You know, there's I mean, in Japanese, I mean, it means the same thing, but there's a different way of saying it, of course, like in French, in English, or basically in language. Save me and please somebody save me is not the same thing. And yeah, I think at one point they showed insults that Hideaki Anno and Gainax received after probably, that was either Death and Rebirth or the end of the original television anime. And I mean, that was like, hey, fuck off. Big middle finger to all the haters. So yeah, there was that. So that was my Evangelion, my End of Evangelion Chronicle, with some Spectre and some football sprinkles. Thank you for watching. Oh, my stream suddenly stops. Well, I'm gonna have to refresh it. Hoping I haven't missed a third goal. So thank you for watching. See you tomorrow. Goodbye.